Then our next question, are MTN shares overvalued? Guys, I know this has been giving headache to so many people. You've seen all sorts of valuations on the internet. I think there was one interesting one I saw is where one used, I think, a NAV per share, but then they based on prior numbers. So yeah, someone can be right and correct, but the only issue with valuing using one formula is you're always going to get biased. So the best way to make a valuation is get like 3 approaches so that your determined price is in a range rather than a point price. That will be a good basis for valuation. That's why when you're doing an investment evaluation, you never focus on using just one ratio. You're supposed to use different ratios so that you understand what these ratios are communicating to you, and then yeah, you'll be able to get a range in which this price falls. So I was doing my research, of course, over the internet, and I noticed a valuation that was made by a group of CFAs, and I respect them, I respect their profession. So they were able to determine a price of about 180 shillings to 218. That was their estimate, depending on the number of factors, of course, a number of assumptions that they took into account. I'll be able to pull it out for you if I get a chance to, or else I will just link for you a link in the description to look at that valuation report. But here they estimated that a price of MTN is between 180 shillings and 218. And being the skeptical me, I'll go with the 180 shillings. So if we're to base on that, yes, the shares might be overvalued. But remember, I told you they're giving you bonus shares free of charge. That means if you're to get the effective cost of these shares, you'll roughly fall into a lower value, like the effective cost of the shares, because you're paying, so you're buying 500 shares but at a price of 200 shillings per share. But remember, they're giving you 50 bonus shares if you're Ugandan, and then using your MTN line, which everyone should do if you want to get the best value for your money. So the effective cost of that is going to be lower than what others are going to have. So if you're to ask me, yes, the price might be lower, the actual value of the shares might be lower, but it's not significantly low to cause an alarm. I don't think it is. Then jumping on to our next question, when can I sell? So unfortunately, if you're someone who invested school fees money that you expected to get back in 1 month, you cannot sell within the IPO period, but you'll be able to sell when the company gets listed. That is after 6th December. So as long as you check the listed entities and you're seeing MTN among the listed entities, then you can buy and sell in whichever way you want. But right now, you cannot sell. You have to wait until all the shares have been allotted and a price determined. That is the rolling price as at that point in time. It won't remain 200. It may not remain 200, yeah? So it may change, might go down, might go up, and the market is usually not favorable for people who want to stay in for a very short period of time. It will favor more those who want to be in for like 10 years, 20 years, yeah. If you're someone who wanted to be in for 1 month, you might be shocked that the price will fall significantly after the IPO date. Yeah, just preparing you for shocks that are coming. And then someone asked, where are these extra shares coming from, the ones that they're selling to Ugandans? Where did they come from? So if you look at the IPO, you realize that the old holding had MTN International at having 21 point something million shares at, and their ownership was around 96%. And then Charles Mbire had that 892 millions and his holding was 3.986%. So after the offer, you realize that MTN International's portion is going down from 96% to 76%. And then Charles Mbire is maintaining his portion, and his number of shares are also remaining standard, meaning MTN International is selling part of their holding of the old 21. They're reducing their holding to 17. So the difference is what they are selling to the public. the new shareholders that are coming in, they are going to get this 20% holding that MTN International is selling. So that is where the new shares are coming from. Then jumping on to our next question, is MTN Mobile Money part of the listing entity? You see, this question came about because people don't like reading. There is, so they put up a prospectus. It has all the details about MTN. It has their mission, the projects that they're doing, where they see themselves in the next 5 years. So if you manage to take chance to go through the prospectus, there is even a summarized one, the abridged prospectus. You would have realized that this is a subsidiary of MTN Uganda, so it definitely is part of the listed entity. So the structure of entities is there is a mother company, then there's a subsidiary. So whatever money the subsidiary makes, if you're 100% owned by this parent company, the money that you're making is flowing through directly to the parent company. If there is another company that is co-owning you, then they're going to split whatever money you're making between themselves, depending on the percentage ownership they all have in you. So MTN Mobile Money is a subsidiary of MTN Uganda. So yes, if MTN Uganda is getting listed, that means whichever money is coming from MTN Mobile Money, it's part of MTN Uganda. But then still, if you read the prospectus, you would have realized that there is proposed restructure that MTN is going to do. And this, if you're to look at all the flags, everything is pointing towards mobile money. So I'm thinking mobile money might be structured out of MTN Uganda in the coming future, and then it will be part of MTN International, just for efficiencies and synergies and all those sorts of things, because I think you must have seen a headline of where MTN Mobile Money is getting into the Nigeria economy. So if you're an investor, all those things are supposed to trigger something in your mind, and you're like, okay, what is going to be the next move for this company? So assuming if that entity is structured out of MTN Uganda, what are the revenues going to be looking like? What does that mean to the share price? You should be able to respond to all those questions if you're investing in MTN. So I'll leave those as open questions for you. Make sure you respond to them before you invest in MTN. The next question is, can a company or a circle buy shares in MTN? Yes, as long as you have the documentation, you have, I think they're called memorandums of association. Like, okay, you're supporting your registration documents for your circle and your company. Yes, if you have those, you'll be able to open an SCD account, and then you'll be able to have a bank account. So as long as you have a bank account that is registered in your company name, the details you submitted will be the same details that are required here. So yes, you can invest, you can buy the shares. Then our last question. I'm sorry if this has gone on forever, but yeah, we're finally at the end. So our last question is, can I buy shares for my child? Like, guys, I don't understand what would make someone buy shares for their child. I wouldn't advise you to buy shares in your child's name. Yes, it is possible. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it. It's your money. But I wouldn't advise you to do it. And it's I think it will be a very long explanation for this segment of the video. So I'm going to leave this hanging. I will definitely come back to it at some point in time. So if I dare forget, please always remind me to talk about this. Yes, there are all things about estate planning and all those kinds of things, but I feel there is a certain checklist that you need to take through before you start to invest in your children's names. Yeah, think twice before you do that. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me on today's segment. I really appreciate. Yeah, keep the comments coming. If I've left out any question that you think I should respond to, then feel free to put in the comment section. I'll be responding to it. And yeah, feel free to join me next. If you find this helpful, like, comment, let me know what you think. Subscribe if you're new here. We're so much excited to have you on board. And yeah, see you next time, guys. Bye.